Guys, welcome back. I'm really excited about the topic for today. The title of this message is going to be titled Part Time Job. No, it's not that I'm saying it incorrectly. Um, the reason why is because I know when people read it, it's going to seem like part time job. But Job is actually a book in the Bible. It's one of the first ones I read from beginning to end. It's one of my favorite books in the Bible because it shows how God can work in somebody's life. It shows the tough times and how someone can endure for so long, so much, and they get to a breaking point. Even those that you know trust in God and they say that they will never curse God and they faithfully serve Him no matter what comes their way. They will never give up. They will always keep pressing forward. But in this story, man, it is amazing. If you haven't read it or you think you don't understand what you're reading in the Bible, I encourage you all to read it, to take some time. I mean, everybody has all this technology. Get the app on your phone, go online, look up the story, read the Bible, and I just pray that for those that think they may not understand what is being said, I just pray that God give you all the knowledge and wisdom to understand every word and that it really edify and bless your life. Because I know there's a lot of people going through a lot of tough times, maybe financially, health wise, family issues, whatever it be. Um, this is just a way for me to say this book actually touched my life, and it was like a spark of hope in my life, and in a time where I really needed it. um, and I have my Bible. This is one of my many Bibles because I have an app on my phone, and I have a Bible always in my car. I just That's just me. um, but in the book of Job, sorry, um, it starts off. Job was pretty much a man that. Sorry, I have my notes here too, so I don't forget, and I can stay focused on what I need to say. Um, Job was pretty much a very good man who refused to do evil. Um, he was a wealthy individual also, um, and he loved God. He pretty much lived to please God, and he was a good person. He had many children. He was married. Once again, he was wealthy, and in in chapter 1 verse 20, I will also put up either on this side or on this side, um, the references in the Bible. um, it's not a very short book, but it's not extremely long, so I don't want to sit here and read and have story time with you guys, although I would love to, but maybe in the near future, you never know. But in verse 20, in the first chapter, um, it came a time where he pretty much lost all that he had. He lost his children. He was being attacked by the enemy. To make a long story short, it was something that God approved of, because it was something where the enemy said, you know what? Well, Satan went to God, and God told him, have you considered my servant Job? And um, he pretty much had the opportunity to do all that he can to see how much he can pretty much endure. And in verse 20, it says, when he received the news that his animals had been taken and his home, he lost everything. What he did at that moment in time, which I wish myself included, we would do the same thing. Um, it says that he knelt down on the ground, he worshiped God and said, we bring nothing at birth, and we take nothing with us at death. The Lord alone gives and takes. Praise the name of the Lord. Wow. That is something that I can tell you I don't or have not said in times of trouble. And it's sad to say, but I'm just being honest. Sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? and I lost this and I lost that, and how am I going to get it back? Instead of saying, you know what, God, you're in control. I know that whatever has been taken will be replaced, and if not, it's going to be replaced with something better. Um, it goes on in the story. I'm just going to pretty much talk about just a few verses that stood out to me. I mean, once again, it's a pretty lengthy um, book in the Bible, so I don't want to be too long on my video, but and it's something very common that I've experienced also personally. When times are rough, and as a Christian or someone who serves God, and things you encounter some rough times, some storms that may come into your life unexpectedly, and there's some around you who may not believe what you believe in, or who may think whatever they want to think. And for instance, if I worked, I had a job and I lost it after a month, and it was during the holidays. To be exact, it was a week before Thanksgiving, and they let me go for whatever reason. Florida's a right to work state, so they can pretty much find whatever reason, and they let me go. It was a bittersweet moment because I really didn't like working where I was working. It was very stressful, and it was just a lot of negative energy there. And I've never worked with so many women, and it was just really hard to deal with all those different personalities. And it was a really tough time because I was so, I was a single mom, and I was so independent, and I was so, I didn't have to depend on anybody to help me pay my bills or do anything like that. And to come to a time where I have no income, I have no way to take care of my child, I have bills to pay, I have a car payment, I have, all these things, and I just didn't know what to do. And, there's some people that just say, oh, don't you serve God? Isn't God so great and powerful? But why would God let this happen? Why would God let you lose your job if he knows that that's your way, that's the only source of income you have, that's your way to provide. So why would he take it away? Just like Job's wife, and this is in chapter 2, verse 9, where she says, this is amazing. Why do you still trust God? Why don't you curse him and die already? Now, he went from losing all that he had, including his children, and all the material things that he had, which at that time, to have all these animals and have all these things that he had, you were considered to be wealthy. So he was a wealthy man, and he lost that and his children. I mean, to lose your child, to lose one child, but he had multiple children, and to get down on your knee and to say, I will worship you, Lord, no matter what. That is a true man of God. And when that happened, and after that happened, then he got tested again, and he got tried again, because then his state of health was not what it was. He had like boils throughout his whole body, very painful sores is what it references to. And he was pretty much bedridden. He couldn't do much. And through that, he still said, no, I'm not going to curse my God. But his wife then says, why don't you curse him and die? And he replied, don't talk like a fool, which many of us should do, and it's come to this point in my life where now I know more. I have a little bit more knowledge and more wisdom. And when people say things, they may not say it directly or say it on purpose or say things that are cursing you. They're not aware of what they're saying. But that's when you say, I rebuke them in the name of Jesus. I say it at work. I don't care who's there. No, I refuse to no, ain't gonna happen. And he had friends that came. Friends, you gotta love them. Some of them are really great, and some of them are just like, really, where do you come up with these things? Like, how do you, I don't know. So he had friends that came and also said the same thing, and they were like, how can you do this, and blah 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 blah. And it just, certain things happen for certain reasons. Now I'm gonna kind of jump forward to chapter 36, verse 15. And this is something that I had like highlighted from a long time ago, because like I said, this is a book I would reference often, and it's something that was like an eye-opener for me personally during this time that I had lost my job. And it was a week before Thanksgiving. It was hard to focus on spending my time with my family when all I could worry about and all that was on my mind was, I need a job. I have to provide. I have a child. I have to feed her. I have to clothe her. What am I going to do? How am I going to get through this? What did I do wrong? What did I do to deserve this? And this verse it's amazing. It's in chapter 36, verse 15 says, I'm sorry, that's not the verse. Let's track back. Anyways, so, you go on and you're like, man, what did I do to deserve this? I don't know what's going on. And you're like, I thought when that happened that I had committed a sin that was major, and that's why these things were happening. Maybe I spoke wrong. Maybe I did something wrong. And, in this verse, what it's saying is it was like, wow, it makes sense. Okay, so it is chapter 36, verse 15. And it says, hard times and trouble are God's way of getting our attention. And in that very moment, this is verse 16, at this very moment, God deeply desires to lead you from trouble and spread your table with your favorite food. Wow. So sometimes that very thing that may be steering you away from God is sometimes what He removes to say, hey, remember me, the one that gave it to you, the one that gave you what you asked for, and you pretty much put me to the side now that you've obtained what you asked for, and you forgot about me. Ouch. That's an ouch moment, as my pastor would say. And I started to just ask God to help me, to get through it. I changed my prayer. I focused on His word, and I said, God, I'm going to do what I can here on earth. I'm going to look for a job. I'm going to, set my resume out. But you know what's going to be best for me. You know what I'm going to need. And that goes for anything in life. It's not, I'm just using my example, but that could be with your family, with relationships, with your friends, with your job, whatever it is that you're in need of. Just trust that God has your best interest, and trust me when I say He does, because not only did I get a better job doing something, something better, and for a very known company here in Florida, and gained more experience, and ended up being one of the employees that one of the only employees that one of the doctors, he was an orthopedist, that worked for the Bucks. And I was told so many times that the doctor must really like me because he wouldn't talk to anybody, and he wanted me to go and move up to his office in Tampa, but I didn't want to do that, so whatever. But it's like, wow, like you see how you move up, and I was getting paid more. I enjoyed doing my job, and just one door opened up right after the other. And to pretty much conclude this is, throughout all the trials and all the tough times that Job faced, even with his wife, the one that should have been supporting him and encouraging him during his time of need, and even she, didn't do that for him, and he still said, you know what, stop the foolishness and stop talking foolish. You don't know what you're talking about. But Job got through it. He got through it. God sent him angels to speak to him, sent him people to let him know that things were going to be fine. And in chapter 42, verse 10, this is the last chapter of the book. And in verse 10, it says, after Job had prayed for his 3 friends, the Lord had made Job twice as rich as he had been before. Then he had a feast for his brothers and sisters and for some old friends. They expressed their sorrow for the suffering the Lord had brought on him, and they each gave him silver and gold. The Lord blessed him with more than ever. He had children again, and then I'm gonna jump down to verse 16, where it says he lived for another 140 years. Talk about this man having a blessed life. Some people are struggling to make it past their 60s or 70s. This man lived an additional 140 years. He was able to see his great-grandchildren have children of their own. So imagine how old he was when he died. If there's one thing I would like to leave with you guys, is that there is no situation or problem too big or too small for God to handle. God is an amazing God. God will surpass what desires you may even have. He will bless you double for what you lost. You know, I didn't think I would be where I'm at today. I didn't think that after coming out of school as a medical assistant and you know, not having an actual degree, I have my training, you know, and I have my diploma in that, but it's something that I wanted to do, and I had the opportunity, you know, to do it, but I had to start off from the bottom and work my way up. Who would have known that today, after let's see, maybe 6 years it's been now since I've been out of school, that I would be an office manager and making more money than I even thought I would make. And that's not to say I'm going to stop there, because it's only going to get greater with every step that I move forward in life. I'm going to go from one level to the next level, and I'm not going to stop as long as I'm alive. I know that God will take me from one level to the next level, because the latter glory will be greater. And did I say that right? I think I said that right. The glory from before is not gonna be as great as the glory that's ahead. So therefore, you go from level to level. You know, I am not going from here back down. I'm gonna go from here to here to here and keep going up. As long as God allows me to, and God opens those doors for me, I will continue doing it, just like I would continue to speak His word and to preach His word and to instill hope in those and say, hey, I got through it. I can get through it. And you know what? Every day it's a different day. Some days you're going to have that are good. Some days you're going to have that are bad. Some days you're going to be like, why am I here? What am I doing? I give up. But then some days you're going to be like, no, you're going to be like, no, there's no way. God has brought me so far along. For me to look back and say it's not worth it would be a lie. Because everything that I've gone through has made me able to sit here and make videos on YouTube and show people, hey, you can get through it. I don't care what the world says or how bad your situation may look. Don't look at your situation or your circumstance currently and let that determine where you're going to head to. Trust in God and believe that God will get you through it. I know many of you have been through situations and you felt like maybe you were drowning and you didn't know how you were going to get out. But now your head is way above the water. And you're going to get through it. So believe and trust that He's going to do it, just like He did for Job. He went through all this not because he sinned, not because he did anything wrong, not because he lied, not because he didn't give God what God needed. No. He was just one that just was tried and tempted and tested, you know. And some of us, we don't realize, you know, we don't understand, why are we going through this? Why did this have to happen? You know, why did I planned my life out so perfectly? Why did I have to veer off the path that I was supposed to be on? Sometimes it's just by our mistake, you know, the choices we make that are incorrect. I can't blame my past for someone, you know, because of someone else. It's a choice that I made, and I had to live with the consequences. And until this day, I am. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to get through it and live a greater life and have a greater purpose. Because I know now that what I went through before is only adding to my testimony. So look at it that way. Look at it um, as your resume, but not for a job. As your spiritual resume, or whatever you want to call it. You know, the more things you go through, the stronger you will become, because it's in those moments where you have no choice but to say, God, I need you. God, help me. And those are the times a simple thing like that, God, help me, will trigger him to say, wait, is that my child asking me for help? And you will see his hand upon your life through every situation, and he will be there. So thank you for tuning in to today's word. I hope you guys enjoy this. And once again, for those that have not read this book in the Bible, I encourage you to read it. It will bless your life. And it's not that difficult to understand. But I just pray that your minds understand what you're reading when you read it. It's something that will truly edify your life, and I'm sure it will speak to you in a way that you never probably thought it would. God bless you guys, and I know I was releasing videos like every day, but I don't want to do it every day now. I want to do it maybe twice a week. I'm not sure as to what days I'm going to be doing it, but at least twice a week I want to, put out some videos. I don't want you guys to get tired of listening to me. But I hope so far you guys are enjoying them. If there's anything in particular, once again, that you guys would like to hear or would like to know, I will put my information, my Facebook information, if you want to request me. I do have Instagram, or simply you can comment below the video and leave me a message or whatever it is. Once again, I pray that you guys enjoy this video. May you all be blessed, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.